happy Wednesday, August 5th. Welcome back to another exciting edition of Rate Desk. I'm your host, Michael Thomas, here to talk about multifamily interest rates and other news. Here we are midweek. Let's go to the markets. All three of them are up, closing in the green today. And the NASDAQ is actually on a 6-day winning streak. Dow and S&P 4-day winning streak. Counting those streaks in days, but that is a positive trend to see. We're also seeing the continued, I'd say, range-bound nature of the U.S. 10-year Treasury yield at the 55 basis point, 0.55 there. And we're seeing the crude oil futures go back up into the $42 barrel range, which is a pretty big jump up from where we were about a week ago. That's nice to see. Good news in the multifamily interest rates. We have seen those come down pretty substantially. The 223F 35-year fixed rate, 2.25. That is 2.25 fixed for 35 years. Wow. And going on over to the 221 D4, we're seeing that at 2.75, if you can believe that, 2.75. Wow, incredibly low interest rates. Those rates do not include the mortgage insurance premium, which depends on several different factors. What that amount is, ask your lender. Your friendly HUD lender should be able to tell you about that. Going over to the agency desk, we are seeing continued tightening on the Fannie Mae DUS lender desk. We're seeing those rates in the 285 range, trading around there. That is again on the tier 2 properties, 80% leverage, 1.25 debt service coverage. And then we jump over to Freddie Mac, and we're seeing that at 301, just a peak over 3%. 10-year money, same leverage, 1.25 on the debt service coverage. Very attractive rates all around between FHA and GSEs. Market is just staying so strong. One other note I just want to mention about the capital markets is debt is churning. I keep track of deals and deal flow and read a lot of different things about what's closing, and also the bond market and the municipal bond market. And let me tell you something, the capital markets are in motion. They are moving, people are doing deals. We are seeing a lot of activity come across the desks of capital market debt lenders. So that is a good thing to see. What I want to talk with you about today is something rather technical, but I found it very interesting and therefore worth bringing up to you. On a HUD loan transaction I'm working on, there was a question that came up around what is the actual replacement cost of the property regarding property casualty insurance. Well, it turns out that there are different data sources that are used by different parties to calculate the costs of construction, etc., building replacement buildings and structures. One of them in the HUD world is using RSMeans. RSMeans is a data source that is one of the larger aggregate sources of construction costs. And Marshall and Swift is a name you might be familiar with. Appraisers tend to use Marshall and Swift as a data source. These data sources can have a delta of 20%. So it can be somewhat significant. And again, something to be aware of. Great question to ask, really going into the closing of a transaction is, get in front of that property casualty insurer, find out how they're calculating it, make sure that it makes sense within your loan requests and all that. Of course, HUD is a very conservative lender. That is because they underwrite loans super extensively before they're going to give you the stamp of the government guarantee with the FHA insurance. That insurance basically guarantees that there'll be no loss on the loan. So that is not easy to come by, as you might imagine. So anyway, something to think about. RSMeans, Marshall Swift, and these different definitions of replacement cost. These are things you can think about, again, and pre-plan as you go into the closing phase of it, which in my land can last anywhere from 30 to 45 days. You've got some time. If you have quicker closings on GSEs, you want to handle that stuff before that, because those closings could happen quicker, assuming there's no issues that pop up in title or survey or things of that nature. So that is my tip of the day. In fact, it's actually the tip of the week, because I'm doing Rate Desk weekly to make room for NAHB Power Hitters. Very exciting interview show, interviewing the best and brightest that are coming to us from the National Association of Home Builders, and my brand new series launching called Money Talks. We're interviewing top housing finance policy and government officials. We're going to be talking to Region 3 executive from HUD that is in the Philly area, Pennsylvania region, Mid-Atlantic. We're going to be speaking with him. That's going to be a great episode. We've got David Ward coming up on NHB Power Hitters. That's going to be great at MAA. Looking forward to that. So stay tuned. Come back to Yield Pro TV. And if you love Rate Desk, come right back next week. We'll have another midweek episode for you of Rate Desk. Again, I'm your host, Michael Thomas. Thanks for tuning in. I'm signing off.